Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. How is the crew doing tonight? Hey, Nene, what's up? How are you? So, we had our season finale. Yeah, we had our season finale of Raising Kanan. And I have a lot to say. I really do. I have a lot to say, but hell, I always have a lot to say. I mean, that's why I have a channel. So, yeah, I have a lot to say about this actual episode and just the season overall. Um, well, let me ask you this. Hey, Brenda B. Let me ask you this. What did you guys think about this episode? Hey, Jay, long time no see, my brother. Hope all is well. What did you guys think about this episode? Before I begin, I'm going to do a recap of the episode, and then we're going to go play by play when it comes to this season and also what to expect, I guess, for season 4. Okay, you liked it. Okay. And Brenda, Jay, what do you guys think about this episode? Um, I feel like compared to other seasons, this has to be, in my opinion, the weakest season. And I'll explain. But first things first, I'm going to give my recap on the actual episode, and then we can kind of talk. And I'll give my reasons for it. Okay, so all ball, you liked it. You're saying, okay, so you say I liked it. You're saying the episode was phenomenal. Kanan is a cold dude. I enjoyed it. It finally picked up, in my opinion. Okay. Again, I like to hear difference of opinions. I'm going to give my recap on it, and then I'm going to explain why I feel the way that I feel. But first things first, let's get down to Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 10, Made You Look. All right. So we start off with Lou. Okay. And Lou is actually in a rehab. So we know now that Marvin and Raquel took him to a rehab facility. And we find out that Lou actually wanted to meet with Rock. So the therapist called her up there because he said that Raquel is the most important thing to him. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Even though she said she owned you, but that's very sweet. So at that point, Rock, of course, always has her guard up. She always has her guard up. But at that point, when she hears that, she says that she feels the same way. Lou was her heart. That's her baby brother. She remembered carrying him when he was first born. So, at that point, we see the next time they talk, she actually apologizes to him and says that she felt like she was losing him and it was painful to her, so she lashed out. And he said at the end of the day, he was a grown man. He made those decisions, but he is just very hard for him to live with those decisions, and he's trying to live with it. They hug, she kisses him, and that's what we see pretty much until towards the end. So at that point, next we see Marvin, and he attends Gerald's funeral from a distance. And then the FBI pays him a visit and tries to apply pressure on him at that point. And so after that, now I don't know where this Marvin situation is going to go, but I'll give my predictions just based on at the end what I think they may do next season. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to go through you enjoyed it. I'm mad. Okay, I'll definitely look, Jay. I'll get to that. Hey, Michelle. I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't know how to feel either, Teeth. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to do the recap first, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it, all right? So, yeah, we're going to talk about it. And, we can all agree to disagree. If y'all want a panel and we can discuss it, I'm all for it. But let me continue with the recap part. So at that point, I don't know what they're going to do with Marvin, but at this point, the police is on his ass. All right. So Kanan and Crystal are having freaky tales. And she pretty much, after giving it up, all of a sudden wants to say, are they officially together? She asks, well, are we girlfriend and boyfriend now? And at this point, we find out because she says, look, the group is not happening anymore. So it wasn't that they just replaced Juke. They just completely dismantled the whole entire group. So she was saying, well, since the group is not happening anymore, you said we had to keep this on the low. Are we official? And he's like, look, ain't nobody got time for this. Let me smoke my trees. It is what it is. I'm not thinking about this. Then all of a sudden she says she's late. She says she's late. Now, do I feel like she's preggers? Hell no, I don't trust Crystal, but that is the cliffhanger in his world. She is apparently preggers. Now, is it possible this is the actual son? Is this the actual son that is being born at this time? I don't know. I can't remember if I forgot what the son's mother's name was in the first Power. I can't remember what her name was, but I'm wondering if that is the birth of his son that he ends up offing in Power. We shall see. So, oh, it was Jarita. Okay, so then it's not Crystal then. Okay, so let me move on then. So Juke meets with Aisha, and Juke has pretty much been icing her out since the situation happened after their performance. And then next thing you know, Aisha kisses her, and this comes out of nowhere. Now, at first, when I first saw Aisha, my prediction was that this was going to be a romantic thing. But then it really turned out, or it appeared to be, that it was going to be just a very solid friendship and a sisterhood. I honestly would have preferred if they kept it with a solid relationship and a sisterhood, because that is one thing that Juke has never had. Now, Juke pretty much turns her down because at this point she's like, I'm going into the army. But at the same time, I just feel like the whole I'm attracted to you. She randomly kisses her. Juke is like, for real? And she's like, I didn't know how I felt about you. And I'm like, but the problem is you were dealing with her cousin. You were kissing all on her cousin. That's a weird situation in general. But when they end up having lunch, at this point, she says, I'm going. At this point, I don't want to stay here. My family's pretty much a hindrance to me and what I want to do. And at this point, Aisha says, I'm going to wait for you. Juke says, no, you're not. And I wouldn't want you to. I don't know how I feel about this turning romantic. Like, I just want them to have a solid bond versus Aisha trying to get into her panties. Okay. I don't know how I feel about them doing this at the end. Maybe they're trying to predict something, or I don't know what the prediction would be between them next season, or if we'll even see her next season. So Howard at this point is being questioned by the feds, and his captain is also questioning him, and Howard has his union rep in the room, and the fed says, you didn't tell me about the connection that you have with Marvin Thomas. And he also says you were also looking for his little brother, Lou Thomas, because we were told that you were going around the precinct asking for someone to pretty much look for him. And at that point, they take his gun, they take his badge, and pretty much tell him he's on modified duty because he's a crooked ass pig. And the feds tell him that he has 2 days to come back, I guess, to explain his connections or give an explanation, or he's going to be arrested. And I'm thinking, can they really do that? I mean, they don't have any evidence on him. So can they really arrest him? They can question him, but can they arrest him? And wouldn't he kind of question that because he is a police officer? He's been a police officer. I don't know if they could legally even arrest him. That is not adding up to me, but that's what they say on the show. So Marvin also meets with his lawyer, and we see that, he's trying to find out what the lawyer can find out in regards to what the feds know. And so far, the lawyer says it doesn't appear that they have anything, but he's going to continue to dig. Next, we have Rock. And oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, Nene. I thought that could have been the case, but it's too early. I guess her name was Dorita. So next we have Rock. And Rock is driving in her Range Rover. And she looks over at the playground next to her. And I don't know if she was trying to kind of give that feel of what it was like when Kanan was that age. Because remember, one of the first scenes we saw them in season 1 in the pilot was her taking him to the playground to go fight that boy. But she's looking over there at the playground. Next thing you know, a car pulls up on her and starts spraying. All right. Starts spraying. She sits up there, of course, and gets away and is able to drive off. And of course, famous nosy ass is the first person to know what happened to Rock even before Kanan. He ends up knocking on Kanan's door and tells him immediately, like, did you hear, like, your mama, you know what I'm saying? They pretty much tried to spray her. I don't know if she's okay or not. And Kanan is like, that crazy mofo. He automatically knows that it's Ronnie. And next we have the feds, and they're questioning Lou, and Lou pretty much has nothing for them, doesn't tell them anything, pretty much says everything's been foggy for the past several months, which is why I'm in here, so I have nothing for you. So then Marvin makes his way to Rock after the shooting and pretty much tells her that it was Ronnie who ordered the hit. And she says she's not going to war with Ronnie because, of course, Kanan would be in the middle of it. But Kanan goes to confront Ronnie while Snaps and Pops is pretty much telling him before Kanan walks in that Ronnie shouldn't have missed at this point. He don't even realize that Snap and Pops wants Raquel gone just as much as Ronnie. But Kanan walks in and he act like he got some big kahunas. And he tells Ronnie, you messing with the wrong one. And Ronnie's like, don't tell me what to do, little boy. Now, if I can be honest, Kanan having all of this gangster in him, do you guys feel like his character development was good from the first episode of this season to now? Do you feel that his gangster is like warranted with everything that happened? Or do you feel like he just went from this boy in school to all of a sudden he's freaking Omar from The Wire or Bishop from Juice? Like, do you guys feel like his development was really good? Because in my opinion, it wasn't. Like, literally, we have this boy in the first season crying and literally trying to do anything to protect his mother, including off a police officer, and him being scared running from Burke in the second season. And then randomly now, I don't feel anything that's really been out there besides Famous not telling him what was in that bag. I just don't know where all of these kahunas came from all of a sudden. Like, usually when people have to be that way, they're forced to be that way because they're up against the wall. Kanan, to me, didn't have that up against the wall experience, to me, in my opinion, for him to sit up there and talk to Ronnie like, you know what I'm saying, he's not scared of Ronnie. In my opinion, it would have been nice if he was trying, because remember, Juke said, you are trying to play a man, but you're still a little boy. I would have loved to have seen that he was put in certain situations with Ronnie or any other situations that you could still see the little boy in him, and he was kind of scared and he was still trying to play the role. But then at the point where Ronnie really truthfully came at his mama, that's when he realized that he has no choice. He has no choice but to either be all the way in or not in at all. I just don't feel like, it just seems so not realistic. And I don't feel the development was there. I just don't feel the development was there when it came to his character. And he's a main character. If you don't have good development for him, you're gonna have a lot of people going out of it. It's like it's not adding up. It's not making sense. But that's my opinion. What are you guys saying? Okay, so Chief says a big no. It definitely grew as time went on where he came from. Their development was horrible. Gangster don't fit him. Okay, so you guys are understanding where I'm coming from. It's just it doesn't come off believable. And again, the fact that Juke said you're still a little boy, I would have loved to have seen that. He acted like he didn't care and he was so gangster, all of this stuff. And it even would have been more believable if he was acting gangster and he would always put his mom's name out there because he knew maybe people wouldn't touch him because of his mom. But it's just like it wasn't earned. I'm sorry. His whole gangster mentality this year or this season was not earned, in my opinion. So next we see Howard at the mosque. And of course, he only goes to the mosque when he's in trouble. And then Marvin meets with Pop and Snaps. And I think this is when we really see even more that Marvin doesn't have that gangster in him anymore. Remember, he was the guy in season 1 when they did that to Lou and burned his house down. He straight up went Scarface on their asses in a heartbeat. But literally, while he was upset what happened to his sister, he pretty much questions Pop and Snaps and says, this can get ugly. And they're looking at him like, yeah, like what you gonna do? And he backs down. He doesn't even keep eye contact and he puts his head down and he walks away from the situation. So we see even more so that Marvin just doesn't have it in him anymore. He does it because that's the only way he knows how to make money, but he's not about that life. So Famous gets arrested by the cops, and I'm like, well, damn, this just came out of nowhere. But then we find out his own mama found the hammer and submitted it to the police. So that's why he gets arrested, because of course they end up doing a test in the ballistics test or whatever and find out that that hammer was able to solve a cold case. And so the captain and the Fed guy comes in, and I'm like, why do they keep going into every single situation? But they go in there, and now they talk to Famous saying that, hey, this situation could have been self-defense. And Famous is like, I didn't do nothing. Where's my lawyer? And they're like, look, we know Detective Howard got you out on a release. And we want to know the connection when it comes to Detective Howard. And Famous kind of puts his head down, but then he still says, I want a lawyer. And so that's the end of Famous for this season. I honestly thought the way that it was going, that's another thing too. Famous was this lazy bum. He went from going to school, having some type of ambition, to being this lazy bum who literally just wanted to smoke all day. The way he was acting and sleeping all day, a lot of us assumed that it was more than just trees, but at the same time, that wasn't developed. He was acting like he was depressed. And then now, with everything that he went through with Kanan, I thought for sure this was going to be his last season. But now it's a cliffhanger for him. So at this point, they're stretching him out. So it's like, will he go to jail? Will he snitch? Like, what's going to happen with Famous? But I also feel like his development, Famous is just there, but it's just like, why did he go from trying to, be a rapper, trying to have some type of ambition, but literally even before his mom kicked him out, all he did was just pretty much smoke all day. And I'm sorry, that type of smoking doesn't really have you sleeping all day. And oh yes, he was depressed, like Blaine's voice. Yeah, I guess he was depressed, but I'm gonna need for them to kind of break it down why he was depressed. Because he was depressed, remember, before he left his mama house. He would sleep all day in his mama house. So that's why I'm just like, again, no development as to why and what was the reason for it. But again, my opinion. So at that point, we'll see what's going to happen with Famous. Something's going to happen to Famous. Just don't necessarily know what yet. So y'all check this out. Rock is at home cleaning her hammers, okay? She hears the doorbell. She goes and opens up the door without looking through the peephole, as if she already hasn't experienced her security guarding her door before and being unalive and someone trying to come for her. But yet she still, just with no hesitation, opens up the door. Oh yeah, no, Jay, I was gonna talk about that. I was gonna talk about that because yeah, that song is definitely gonna lead to it, like all of these rappers today who get caught up with their songs. But yeah, I definitely feel like that's gonna play into it as well. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that when we get to the conclusion with, what's gonna happen with all of these characters possibly. But yeah, she opens up the door and her security is there with Howard. And Howard is at her door in broad daylight, going to Raquel's Thomas house after he just met with the feds, and the feds are insisting that he has a connection with the Thomases. But he goes to her house where the feds know where she is and where she lives in broad daylight. Okay, that was definitely very realistic. But she questions that about him, and he claims he don't have nothing to lose at this point, so that's why he's just randomly coming to her house. Last time I checked, they said he was on modified duty. He's still a cop. So to me, when cops, even if they crooked, they're on modified duty, they trying to stay on their A game and not get caught up in the stuff that they're doing. But okay. So he tells Rock they're coming for all of them. And Raquel is like, they coming for us or they coming for you? And he's like, look, I probably won't get out of this clean, but you and Kanan can, but Marvin has to take the fall. And at this point, they do a close up on Rock's eyes. And I'm like, well, we already know that ain't going to happen. But I do love her monologue in this scene with Howard, because Howard, of course, is trying to blame her for everything, just like Lou and other people or the men in her life. And she said, I wish I could just blame people for all of my problems, but y'all always claim I'm the problem, yet I'm also your solution. That's pretty much how she breaks it down. But whoever wrote that part and how she pretty much says, look, I'm tired of y'all freaking men always blaming me for stuff, but you still coming to this woman trying to blame me, but at the same time, I'm the solution to your problem as well. So I love when she said that. So at that point, Kanan and Juke meet up, and he wants to tell Juke, look, I have nothing to do with my mother being attacked. And he finds out that Juke is going to the army, and Juke tries to tell Kanan, like, look, Rock loves you more than anything. And he was like, not more than she loved herself, I guess. So at this point, next thing you know, a busted van pulls up and takes Kanan. And we see Juke and Marvin running to Rock's house and pretty much telling her what happened when it came to Kanan. And Rock is like, look, if Ronnie took him, if Kanan would be gone at this point. He has him alive for a reason. And so at that point, Marvin is like, well, what does Ronnie want from you, Rock? And she said, everything. That's exactly what she says, everything. Do we get an answer to all of this hostility towards Rock? No, we still don't get an answer, but she does say he wants everything. All right. And so they go to Pop and Snap's shady asses and have Howard ass with them, which I'm like, why? But I'm gonna keep going. And they tell Rock that Ronnie wants her connect, wants her product, and also wants $500K for Kanan. And she really realizes at this point she has to go to the Italian Stefano to get that type of money. And Howard is still putting pressure on Raquel and says, in his own special way, you're going to have to give up Marvin to save all of us, or at least you and Kanan. So Stefano actually decides to give Raquel the money. She puts up her house and she puts up her mini mall to pretty much show that she's good for it. but we see a slow close up on him after that deal is made. So something tells me something's about to happen when it comes to that. Even though we know at the end she does get the money back, but there's definitely something that's going to happen when it comes to next season between her and Stefano. So next we see Lou, and Lou is talking to a therapist. And then the next thing you know, he goes into a janitor's closet and grabs like a electric cord, a cable cord. And I'm like, really? Like, really? Like, I don't know, y'all. I feel like he finally got his most vulnerable moment with his sister, but yet he's still contemplating that. Do y'all feel like that's really believable? I don't. I really don't. I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, if that's believable. But he ends up taking that cord. He attempts, but he decides not to. But I don't know. I really don't know about Lou's character. Like, I will say that for the actor that plays Lou, I'm sure this is going to be great for his actor's reel, because he truly is showing a lot of up and down emotions this season. I just don't know if it's really something that I can hold on to, because it's like you finally got what you wanted from your sister. So it's like at this point, you're still at a point where you just want to end it all. I don't know if it's adding up for me. But with that being said, Rock and Howard make the drop off, and Kanan is there. Oh, and you guys, on your way in, please hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Howard and Rock make the drop off, and Kanan is there with, of course, Ronnie. Hey, Ruby, with, of course, Ronnie. And all of a sudden, Kanan comes up and tries to make it seem like it was all a setup, and Rock and Howard are getting played. Instantly, I think we all knew, but I'm going to speak on my opinion. Instantly, I was like, this is some BS. We clearly know that he's playing the situation. He talking about something, y'all got played. I'm like, no, you trying to play Ronnie. So Ronnie tells, Raquel, toss the money. Ronnie gets the money. And the next thing you know, Kanan gives one to Ronnie in the head. Okay. And so it's so crazy when he does that. He acts like he is the illest, iller, the illest. And he just makes it seem like, yeah, I did that. And what? But then Rock turns around and gives one to Howard in the head. But then when she does that, Kanan gets freaked out. So it's literally like 1 minute you acting like you hardcore gangster, but then when your mom turn around and do the same thing to this guy in front of you that you yourself tried to also off, keep in mind, you also tried to off him in the first season. But when she does it, all of a sudden you're freaked out talking about something. What the heck did you do? Like, sir, like, did you forget what you tried to do to him and you didn't succeed? And did you forget what you just did about 2 seconds ago? Now, when it comes to Raquel unaliving Howard, it only made sense. He knew too much information. He wasn't reliable. He was never going to be loyal. So honestly, I could see why she did what she did. I really do. Here's my thing. They leave, all right? They leave. Marvin leaves. Rock leaves. Kanan leaves with them. Next thing you know, you see these freaking boots walking towards Ronnie's unalived body. And they pan up, and who is it? It's Neek. Okay? Now, y'all remember that scene. You remember what happened and how brutal it was. They even talked about how there was bone and skull fragment, hair, all of this violence. You saw him being rolled down a hill, and you mean to tell me that he is able to stand up straight, been apparently following his brother, watching his every move, don't know how long it's been in between, to sit up there and watch all of this stuff go down, to see all of this stuff go down with Rock and all of them, and he's standing up straight, seeing his brother's unalive body. Does that make sense to y'all? Is that realistic? Is it realistic? Y'all know I love Neek. Y'all know I love his character. He was definitely a character that people loved. I love the way he looks. He's a fine man. But make it realistic for me to understand why you're bringing him back. Make it realistic to where I looked at this and it wasn't even like, oh my gosh, Nick is back. I looked at that and then I said, you have got to be effing kidding me. This is what you do? This is what you do. And I'm just like, I have a couple of issues. With this season. I do feel like it was rushed. I feel like this last episode, they tried to end a lot of storylines. I don't know if that had anything to do with the writer's strike and the actor's strike, but I definitely feel like this was too much and too fast. Now, here's the thing with the Ronnie character. Let me ask y'all this. What did we learn about Ronnie this season? And I want to see what you guys say in the comments. What did we learn about Ronnie this season? Character-wise, development-wise, what did we learn? And I'll wait to see what you guys say. What did we learn about Ronnie? Ronnie was supposed to be this polarizing character. That's what they try to make him out to be. So much that this man got memes all over the place on social media. But what did we learn about Ronnie? Let me know. Let me see what you guys are saying. Kanan saw Rock take out. Oh, we miss you too, Ruby. Kanan saw Rock take out a family member. That's going to mess him up. Why need goofy ass back on the show? I was pissed off. They need a flashback to season 4. No. 50 was burned up when Juke come to him. Ronnie like Honey Nut Cheerios. Nothing at all. Wasted cat. Thank you, DeMarcus. And I'm sorry. Hey, DeMarcus, how are you? Was mean and creepy. Okay. He was mean and creepy. Do we know why he was mean and creepy? Do we know why he came out acting the way he was acting towards his brother? Did we even know that he was like that when Neek talked about him in season 1 or 2? Do we know why he was apparently looking at a TV that wasn't on and staring at it, and they made sure that we knew that in this season? We got no character development. Like I said, he was turning out to be the boogeyman, the South Jamaica boogeyman. Unrealistic and just there to be a boogeyman villain. But there was no development. We don't know why he has so much hatred for Raquel. We don't know if at the end of the day, maybe when he went to jail, you hear stories all the time that guys that go to jail, if they spend a long amount of time in jail, or better yet, in the hole, sometimes mentally, they may, have some mental issues after that. We knew nothing about him besides that he was offing people left and right and not getting caught. I don't understand why he was there. There was no development of him. So to me, he was wasted. It was pointless. It just seemed to be, let's bring in a character to make him polarizing and make him be this super duper scary villain, almost like they wanted to kind of match what BMF was doing with that guy that they had in their season. It just, to me, did not add up. I already know what Neek is going to go back to being a villain, and Rock took his business from Stefano. Why did we even get introduced to Ronnie if they weren't going to develop him, right? They gave us history on Ronnie. He just showed, And I don't like characters that you try to make polarizing, but we have no background on them. We have, like, for example, Omar from The Wire. He was polarizing. But what do we know about Omar? Omar had a code to the game. He had a code. He didn't put his hammer, or he didn't do things to civilians. We knew that, you know what I'm saying, he was feared in the streets of Baltimore. But interesting enough, on the opposite end, people found out that he was gay. And literally, while, they clowned him for being gay, they was also still scared of him. There were so many layers when it came to Omar than just literally him being this random villain. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we knew he also was a snitch because he had no problem snitching to the police. There were so many things that we had learned about Omar. How do you have this polarizing character and you start him and finish him in one season and we know nothing about him? Nothing. I'm annoyed by that. Like, what was the point? What was really the point? So that's one thing that I have an issue with. And I don't want you to keep just telling me in a one-liner why someone may be the way that they are. I want to see it. That's the whole point of TV and film. I want to see. I want to see and know, not by someone else just giving a brief history of the person. We should have known why he hated Rock so much, instead of him just saying F Rock every chance he got, and we have no backstory. And why he literally did what he did, and how he was just so hateful towards his little brother that he used to protect all the time. Like, I just got nothing from the Ronnie character. And then this whole Neek situation, all of that, it wasn't realistic. Neek coming back. Love to see him back, but it's not realistic. Who's taking a beating like that and walking in there and literally, like, following your brother around, and you just so happen to be there when a drop off of money and stuff is being made? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Let me see. I think Ronnie kept it interesting, though. Kept it interesting, yes, but kept it interesting with just like, let me put a boogeyman in there. Let me put a boogeyman, a ghost in there, not a ghost from Power, but just like a true, like a make-believe character villain. And then I'll just take them out. Like, I think too many people were invested to know what Ronnie's story was to take him out the way that they did. Now, let me tell y'all something. If we get to next season and we find out Howard or Ronnie are alive, I'm done with this show. We are not going to see two people take one to the head on both ends, and one of them is alive. I'm tired of that. To me, we just gonna assume that they're gone. They're gone. But yeah, but I just feel like there was nothing. People was thinking Ronnie was gay. There was a couple people who said that on my channel. A couple people said that they thought the reason why he hated Rock so much is because maybe he had a relationship with Def Con. Teef said that, and someone else said that. Now, I would have taken that. You know what I'm saying? I would have taken that if that is the case. I would have taken it. Would I have liked it? No, because here's why. I'm over the narrative of, because we don't see a guy being with girls all the time or no girls, we're just going to automatically assume that he's gay. I would have loved if they just took it a little deeper as to why Ronnie is the way that he is. I don't want, because we've had that narrative before. Well, you don't see him with women because he's actually gay or down low. I just feel like that's been overplayed. Let's take it deeper with why Ronnie was the way that he is. But now that he's gone, what was the damn point? I will be done too. Yeah, if they one of them is alive, I'ma definitely be done. People thought he was Breezy. Yeah, people were thinking he was Breeze. Too much was left implied. Thank you. Thank you. And now that he's gone, what is the point? I literally was looking at this episode like, I don't know what to think about this. It may have been good as far as entertainment, but I'm about character development, because the character development is what makes you want to dig deeper and really invest in these characters. And a lot of them I wasn't invested this season. Ronnie and DEFCON would have been an interesting take to me. The last gay character was Lobos. I just feel like it's too like it's been played on Snowfall, it's been played on The Wire, it's been played in Power. Lobos was also like, I just feel like it's overplayed at this point, and we just gotta get something else. It can't always be because you know what I'm saying, a guy is gay. What about him being socially awkward? What about him maybe going through some major trauma in his life that makes him just not want to have any type of social connection with anyone? Let's do something deeper than, oh, he don't want to deal with girls, so he's probably gay. I just feel like they can do better with that. I'm starting to think Unique is Breeze now. Possibly. No point got Unique looking crazy for no reason. Yeah, I think also at Pool, since his face is messed up, I think Unique is gonna come back a crazy person. So like his brother is what you trying to say? Maybe like, but with that, I do feel like they did too much trying to end a lot of storylines in this one episode. If Howard's gone, that storyline is over with. If Ronnie's gone, that storyline is over with. It was I don't know, y'all. But let's recap, shall we? Let's talk about when it comes to this season. So let's recap. First, the most polarizing character they was trying to make the most polarizing character Ronnie. Ronnie is now gone. I've already expressed how I feel about there was a lack of development with Ronnie, and it was really a waste of putting this character in there if we really got nothing from him besides him being a South Jamaica boogeyman. So moving on with that, I've stated my piece on that. Now we have Kanan. Kanan goes from a teenager to a bitter gangster bitch. And we know he's bitter when it comes to his mama, and he treats women like trash. He gets into a business and with the carrier service with, the trees, ends up getting into it with the guy who's the legit boss of the carrier service. Next thing you know, Ronnie and Pop and Snap slither their way in. Ronnie, pretty much owes Pop and Snap's money. So it makes me wonder, is now in season 4, is Kanan now going to be responsible for that debt? I don't like how they developed Kanan. I really don't. I feel like Kanan, it just his so-called I'm tough, I'm gangster came out of nowhere, especially stepping up to a freaking guy that he said was crazy. He knew he was crazy. It just wasn't realistic. So character development for Kanan, it definitely, especially because the show was called Raising Kanan, I'm gonna need Kanan to have better development. Like, I'm sorry, I need for him to have it. Raquel. Now, what did you guys think about Rock's development? What did you guys think about Rock's development? I think it's hard to say when Rock is genuine or not. Let's be clear, Rock is the one who was so determined to get her son home. She put a hammer in his backpack so it can be caught at school. But then at the same time, some may say that that's something that a mother like her would be willing to do to get her son back home. She had moments that seemed genuine, but I just could never. I don't know what to think about Rock. I just don't. The problem is, I don't know what to think about any of these mothers that have been on Power. All of these mothers on Power are just trash to me. You show your love in the most sinister WTF way. So what did you guys think about her character development this year? Do you feel like, she truly owned this season, or what do you think? Let me see. I think Unique is going to come back a crazy person. They should have left the Unique part out. Yeah. I'm not too sure BMF is next. BMF comes out March 1st, Nene. It's March 1st. Probably by the summer. No, it's March 1st. Just like famous mom reported the pew pew turned her son in, right? Only BMF mom. She didn't even confront him. She just automatically turned it in. Snaps and Pops angle makes no sense. Like, if they gave Ronnie money, wouldn't it be used to buy product, which he did? What money was actually lost? Well, remember when he lost his connect, they kind of looked at him like, what you gonna do to fix this, as if he still owed them money. Or did I not remember that correctly? When Juliana was off and he no longer had that connect and he went to Snap and Pops was like, what you gonna do? Almost like, you still owe us money, chop chop, you need to get to it. So to me, you would think that he would have made up the money. So I don't know how much he borrowed or what happened, but they made it seem like he still owed money. So if he still owed money when he had lost his connect, he didn't get a connect between Juliana being off to now. So that tells me he possibly still owes them money. Yeah, famous mom is definitely, I mean, she already had kicked them out, and then this, I tell you. But yeah, so I don't know about Raquel's development. Again, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like definitely I understand she is a woman in this business that's male dominated. Has she really expressed that though? She finally did somewhat in this monologue when she spoke to Howard, saying, I wish I can put my problems on anyone, but y'all always claim I'm the problem, but yet you always feel like you come to me for the solution. So I feel like though she really needs to play up more. She is a woman in this business, so she has to be even more hardcore than the men, because people are always going to try her. But I don't know about her development. I guess it's up in the air for me. And you guys let me know in the comments what you think about her development or lack thereof. Maybe you feel like there wasn't good development. No, Pop didn't care. The only time he cared was when Rock checked him. Well, what I thought wait, Ruby, I thought he said when Rock said Rock is messing with us, Pop said, ain't no us involved, but we do know that, you know what I'm saying, like, you need to get this money flowing coming in. Like, I thought that's what he said. Like, no, it's not a us, but I know that you need to keep this money going. So to me, he was trying to imply that there was still money there. I'll have to look at it again, but I want to say he made it seem like it was still something old and he needs to still continue to do what he needs to do. He needs to find a connect and he needs to continue to make that money because, of course, he still owes money. But that's what I got from it. But Howard, so he's gone now. I guess when you think about it, they could put everything on Howard. They could possibly put everything on Howard. But at the same time, almost everything on Howard, except the whole situation with the woman in Westchester that Marvin had the Italian son actually try to do the hit. So I don't know if that will necessarily work, but they could put a lot of stuff on Howard. He, to me, his only goal was to be 10 steps ahead of the feds and anyone who was trying to come for him. And he claims he was looking out for Kanan and Raquel too. But as far as I see it, Howard had his own self-interest in the situation because he's been a dirty cop for a very long time. Let's not forget that he ended up having freaky tales with Raquel, and Raquel was a minor. So as far as I see it, I won't miss his ass. I know some people liked him as a character, but to me, the way everything played out, it really did make sense for Rock to take him out due to the fact that he knew way too much. He knew way too much. And they would rather save a dirty cop than to save Raquel and her family. So I totally get them letting him go this season. Now, Marvin, even though I was annoyed that he lost his Scarface edge, and how, you know, him starting to have a heart made him make stupid decisions, but I did love the fact that he did make that connection with his daughter, and, you know, he really developed that bond. And I like to see the other side of Marvin, as stupid as it was. But with that being said, he still doesn't know that his daughter's trying to go to the army. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. But I will say he definitely had good development based on what we saw in the first season to now. I would say Marvin has probably some of the best development. Like I said, I don't like how stupid he was with, his heart possibly causing a big issue in the situation. Like he totally forgot what he did for a living. But as far as his daughter, his connection with his daughter, and him truly trying to live a better life and be a better person, I would say that they've done pretty good with his development so far on the show. Now, where this is going to lead him, I don't know. He could go to jail or something else, something worse could happen to him. Who knows? But my favorite character this season was Juke. Juke literally she's actually going to the army, but I will say that Juke was the most pure, and to me, she had the best storyline because she had a goal and she had a purpose. And, she was striving for something. And at the end of the day, I like to see, of course, characters that have a goal, even if they have antagonists and people stopping them from their goals, like Juke's family stopped her from her goal. I like the fact that we saw that, and I like the fact that she truly is the pure one, the innocent one, really, in her family in the beginning. We clearly see where she ends up in the end, but she truly is the innocent one out of the whole bunch. Juke's hands are really clean because Nicole was not her fault. She blamed herself, but it's not like she purposely did something to Nicole. So literally, Juke is really that innocent girl right now. Hey, Carl, how are you? So, yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. I like Howard. He had a lot of potential still. I could see how he could have a lot of potential if he was going to be able to stay 10 steps ahead. But I do understand why they took him out and why Rock would be the one to take him out. One, she wanted him gone in the first place. And remember, she said with Juliana, she's about finishing. She needs to finish what she was trying to, her cleanup, her mess up. She needs to finish what she started. So to me, she was going to make sure that she did that, but he knew too much. He knew too much. And even a dirty cop is still going to get protected by cops. Like, that's just how it is. So they would rather him take down a whole family. He may not be a cop no more, but he probably would avoid jail time if he took the whole family down. You know what I'm saying? So, I can understand why they did it. I wish he would take care of his friend's daughter so she won't go to foster care. Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen unless he did it under the table. But yeah, but they may try to do that next season. Unique is back. Yeah, how do you feel about Unique being back the way that they brought him back, Carl? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. So yeah, so I definitely would love to see where Juke goes. I just don't think next season, if Juke is going to the army, I don't think we're going to see her in the army. I think something's going to happen to where she doesn't go to the army. What's going to happen, I don't know. But clearly and literally in the lunch part with Aisha, she said she doesn't have to go, but she wants to go. She wants to get out. Something is going to make her stay. But to me, I like Juke. She was my favorite character this season. She definitely had a goal, tried to pursue it. And you felt bad for her. You felt bad for her and you were rooting for her. I didn't root for anybody else in this damn season. Not one other person. I was either rolling my eyes, I was annoyed, I was pissed, but Juke, I was definitely rooting for her. I was definitely rooting for her. So next we have Famous. Child, I don't know what's going to happen to Famous. What I do know is we already knew that he was not built for this life. We've known that from the beginning. It could easily go where he's going to go to jail, or I personally don't think Famous is meant for jail. He can't handle jail. He even scared of Kanan. So at the end of the day, he may be the one who snitch. You know what I'm saying? And try to get out once they hear, because I definitely thought about that song that he did where he's literally talking about what he did, damn near how he did it, how he feels about it. That is definitely going to catch up to him. But is he going to go down, or will they give him a deal to get himself out if he gives someone up? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. They should bring Joey on the next season. I'm assuming they're keeping, the reason why they're doing that is to bring him back next season or something. Like, why randomly have him there if they're not gonna bring him back? Like, they did that on purpose. So I'm gonna assume he's coming back, even though I guess they said that he was gonna focus on music. But to do that, that implies that he's coming back. That implies, hell, I would have even preferred if Neek came limping in that bad boy. He came straight up, 10 toes down, like he just got into like a simple fight. Like, do y'all remember how crazy that scene was? It's like, who realistically is getting out of that type of situation alive? It just seems unrealistic. Yes, Famous did say he's innocent. Word is bond. Yes, he did. Yes, he took it back truly to the 90s. Word is bond. With that being said, you guys, I think that's my last slide. Oh, and Lou. Ciao, Lou. I don't know. I just don't see that it's realistic that Lou is acting the way that he's acting. Maybe Scrap and his sister saying that really did him over. Now, if he decides to really do that to himself, maybe he'll take one for the team, for his family, and put everything on him before he does that. Maybe that's the case, but I don't know where the hell they're going to take Lou's character at this point. Like, I really don't know. Famous almost told on Howard. You see, he put his head down when they mentioned his name. Wasn't Jukebox around when Ghost and Tommy was young, because they both knew her in OG Power, which makes me believe she will not go to the military just yet. Yeah. I don't. It's not realistic for her to go to the army, and if she does go, it's gonna be real quick, and she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back. They definitely know who she is, because remember when 50, when Kanan said something about the baddest girl or the most heartless girl or something he said, and Ghost was like Jukebox, like he was freaked out hearing her name. So yeah, they definitely know her. They definitely know her, which makes me wonder, is season 4, are we finally gonna get introduced to little Ghost and little Tommy? Do you think we're at that point where they're gonna get introduced in this next season? Because I feel like, how many seasons can there possibly be before we get introduced to a Ghost and a Tommy? But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out if Ghost and Tommy came into Kanan's world when he was truly running the streets, or owning the streets, because he said he was running them streets before Ghost did what he did. So yeah, I don't know. But with that, overall, you guys, what do I give this season? I would say it was a solid C. I can't even say a C plus. I say it was a C. To me, season 1 and season 2 was better. Like, I had more people I was rooting for in both of those seasons than this season. The only person I was rooting for was Jukebox. And that's a problem, because Jukebox is not the main character. The main character is Raquel and Kanan. Those are the two that we should be following, and those are the two that we should be rooting for. I wasn't rooting for either one of them. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I was more interested when I saw Juke on the screen than Kanan and Rock. And like I said, while Ronnie was polarizing, it completely took me out of it, and he was pointless once they offed him at the end. He became completely pointless at that point. And then Neek coming up, it was just like, someone is not possibly thinking this through. And this is why I say we need Courtney Kemp back. And I know that she apparently has a next Netflix deal. So I don't know if she can really be involved in Power at this point anymore. And she has just pretty much given control to people in every Power book. But when she was there, it wasn't. It was better when she was there controlling the show. I'll just say that. You know what I mean? No show is perfect, but I shouldn't be having WTF moments that often. So it's just, I don't know. I think we need her back because she truly is the mastermind behind a lot of these characters. And she really takes the time to think about these characters and she gives a good explanation on why the characters are doing what they're doing. Then it makes you say, oh, okay, we're not getting the explanation. So some of this stuff is looking like I don't even know if they know at this point why the characters are doing what they're doing. I say we won't see Tommy and Ghost in 2 seasons. Maybe the end of 1 season if the time year line jumps up. So you don't think we're gonna see them until what? Because how many freaking seasons can we have of Raising Kanan? We're already going on season 4. First Power only had what, 6 or 7 seasons? So I'm like, how far are they really trying to take Raising Kanan? Because we're about to be season 4. And I don't know if they would necessarily have more seasons than the original OG Power. The episode was a 8.5. Okay, so you think the episode was an 8.5. What do you think the season was? What do you think the season was? That's a high number. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I know some of you guys said you guys really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad episode. The issue for me is everything that happened at the end completely took me out of it. It was just like, what the hell did I just watch? Because it wasn't lining up with how they were making everything out to be. How do you make this guy so polarizing and then he's done by the 10th episode? And then his brother just randomly comes back after that type of craziness that happened. Yeah, I don't know. So you think 6 seasons. So 6 or 7 seasons. We're about to be on for the 4th season. Ghost and Tommy gonna have to eventually show up. And I'm gonna assume we're gonna have to see them develop a relationship and possibly see when Kanan gets taken down because of Ghost. I'm assuming we're going to see that on Raising Kanan. We also have to see the transition with Juke. And then we also have to see what happens to his mother because we never see Kanan's mother in the OG Power. He says he has to go visit his mother, but that doesn't mean that he went to go visit his mother. He could have visited his mother in jail or he could have visited his mother where she's 6 feet under. So, you know, all of that has to happen. So eventually I would hope they would start that soon. 6 or 7 seasons. I felt the same. Yeah. How many had Power had only 7 seasons, I think. I want to say 6 or 7 seasons. The OG Power only had that. I'm going to assume all of these other Power books, they only going to go about 6 or 7 also. So if they're only going about 6 or 7, we only have 2 or 3 more seasons and Ghost and Tommy haven't been introduced yet. So that's why I feel like there's going to have to be an introduction to these characters eventually. And to truly develop them because they can't mess up developing Tommy and Ghost. Like if they do that, I'm done. Even with the Ronnie, I'm almost halfway done, but this is my favorite damn Power. This is my favorite franchise, my favorite part of Power. I like Raising Kanan. Don't screw this up for me, writers. Damn, like I'm already looking at season 3, like what the hell went on? You get a pass maybe because of the strike, okay? You get a pass. There was a writer strike and an actor strike. Don't mess this up for me because then I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to really be pissed. So if they're going to bring Ghost and Tommy in, which they will, you better develop the hell out of them so we can truly have no question marks on the beginning of their relationship and what led to what happened where they pretty much, well, not they, but Ghost and Tasha pretty much set him up. We're definitely going to have to get to that. But I would say a solid C for this season, for this particular episode. C minus. D plus. D plus, damn it. I don't like the ending. The ending just completely ruined it for me. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, Chris Nicole, you're crazy as hell. Maybe. Okay? Maybe. We all get a little crazy sometimes, but y'all know how I am about story development, character development, too much exposition. I need to literally be invested in these characters. And there's too many characters that are main characters that we have seen since season one. And the fact that I was only invested in one, that is a problem. Never had that problem with Snowfall. Never had that problem with The Wire. Hell, I didn't even have that problem with the OG Power. Mind you, a lot of people felt like the last couple seasons of OG Power kind of went downhill. But the reality is that I was still invested in at least a couple of characters every season. At this point, the fact that I was only invested in Juke, that's a problem. What's up, Lansky? What's up, brother Lansky? You coming in at the end, brother, but there's always the replay gang. I'm up here venting about raising Kanan. So yeah, so C minus. The ending was all. That's my opinion too, DeMarcus. It just, I don't know. The ending was good. Yeah, and everybody, like I said, everybody's entitled to have their opinion. For me, the ending threw me off, and the ending just was not realistic for me. It just wasn't. I would have rather, even though we've seen this on Power before, I would have rather see that Neek was in the hospital bed, bandaged up in a coma or something. I would have rather seen that than him walking straight up and literally has been apparently following his brother this whole entire time, looking over his brother while his brother's unalive. That just wasn't realistic to me. Ronnie is legendary. Okay, so real quick, Lansky, Ronnie is legendary. What did you learn about Ronnie this season as far as character development? When you do a replay gang on this, you let me know, because I don't think they developed him enough. They started him and took him out in the same season, and this guy was too polarizing, and we still didn't learn what we needed to know about Ronnie. What show can we talk about next? Yes, I am going to cover BMF. I'm definitely going to cover BMF. I'm covering Griselda. I'm going to be doing reviews on Griselda. And there's a couple other things that are going to be coming. There's some other things I got in the works. I think I'm going to take a break on these prison shows. I know some people talking about Prison Brides. I'm just not really into it, to be quite honest. But yeah, BMF is coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks, March 1st. And then Griselda, I'm doing a review on that. So yeah, there's a couple things that are going to be coming up. But yeah, BMF for sure. So with that being said, you guys, as usual, I appreciate you guys for coming in. For those who came in later, or for those who are watching this later replay gang, I really want to know what your thoughts are on this actual episode. To me, the season finale, usually in every Power show that I've seen, has made me curious to see what's going to happen next in season 4. Unfortunately for me, in my opinion, this season, this finale, it did not make me eager to see what's going to happen in season 4. It's just like season 4. Now, granted, because I have been a loyal watcher, I'm still going to watch it. But it wasn't like at the end, I was like, oh, dang, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I was looking at this like, are you serious? That's the way I was looking. I was like, okay, like this is what we're doing. Like, I was a little turned off by it. I'm not going to even lie. So this is probably one of the first times I've seen a Power season finale where I'm just like, I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not excited to really know where they're going to go from here. I guess to really probably get me in super, super invested like I used to is that they finally introduced Ghost and Tommy. And hell, introduce Breeze. Now, if they introduce Breeze next season, then, hell, I can be intrigued again. But the way that they ended this, I didn't like it. Ronnie, not Ronnie is legendary. Yeah, a lot of people feel like he is legendary. He got so many memes. Lansky be sending me them memes. They be cracking me up. He was such a polarizing character, and you end him like that. And he has so much hate for Raquel, and we don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it don't make sense to me. Everyone talking about Griselda, you mean? Griselda Blanco. She was a real person. She was like the godmother of the sugar for the boogers. She's a real person. Now, I've seen a couple episodes so far. I got to do my review, but so far I'm loving the mini series they have on Netflix. But yeah, Griselda Blanca, she was the real deal. And Angie, what about Angie DeMarcus? Angie, yes. Oh, you talking about how they're gonna introduce Angie. Got you. How they're gonna introduce Angie and Raising Kanan. I don't know if they would introduce her. Maybe they will briefly, but definitely I need to see Ghost and Tommy and Breeze for sure. Hey Kimmy. Hey Kimmy. So yeah, but definitely, yeah, you guys, I don't know. I ain't gonna even lie, I was a little disappointed. I guess I can always blame stuff on the strike and everything, the writer strike and stuff. But then again, I can't because we literally had what was the show, Awkward Black Girl, and other shows that were actually pretty darn good. And I think they was filming and writing close to the strike. So when you have this much of a freaking franchise and a movement behind you, I don't know how many excuses I can give for the strike, unless there was some budget cuts and stuff that we not aware of that can happen, because budget cuts and things like that can make people speed things up, and they can't do the development like they want to because the money isn't there. Maybe I'll give them a pass, but I wasn't really impressed. I just wasn't. Oh, you don't have Netflix? I just finished looking at the finale. I give it a B. Okay. I give it a D plus. And I explained my reason why, Kimmy. But you may want to do the replay gang, and you guys hit the like button. Do the replay gang, and you'll hear my thoughts on it. But by all means, I love to hear different opinions. You know what I mean? I love to hear different opinions. We all about, agreeing to disagree over here. If you have a different of opinion, definitely speak your mind. I love to hear it. And I can maybe see your point of view. You can see my point of view, or we may not see each other's point of view. We can agree to disagree. So, but yeah, I wasn't impressed. I was expecting more. I was. Now, I don't know how I feel about BMF. I'm going to watch it because I know a lot of people watch it, and I have watched it the last 2 seasons, but they almost kind of did the same type of BS with their own polarizing character. What was the guy's name? You can't stop the rain. Whatever that guy's name was. They kind of did the same thing with him. He went from more calculating to all of a sudden doing crazy stuff in season 2. Let P Valley go since it's been a long time. Yeah, y'all heard about the update on P Valley, right? Did y'all hear about her suing and what the update was? My daughter told me, Griselda. Yes, I did a review on it, Kimmy. I did a review on it, the first episode, but I'm gonna do a review for each episode. But yeah, I think they're gonna bring P Valley back. P Valley is very popular. I doubt very seriously, but yeah, they did her dirty. They did her dirty. The girl that sued, they did her dirty. Now I'm assuming she's still gonna fight it behind the scenes, but yeah, they did her dirty. If what she says is true and she showed proof to back it up, they did that girl dirty. They really did. And it's a cold, mean world, I tell you. So with that being said, you guys, let's continue the conversation about Raising Kanan, not only the season finale, but this season. Let me know what you think, and then let me know what your predictions are when it comes to season 4. Are we going to see Ghost and Tommy next season? Are we finally going to know who the hell Breeze is? We definitely have been wanting Breeze. Some people feel like we're never going to see Breeze. Who knows? Anybody want to share a password account with me? Ruby, we do not condone that here. I admire your hustle, but we don't condone that here. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. But you guys, let me know what you think. Thank you, as usual, for joining me, giving your take on this. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles. Love you guys. Good night.